push through those hardships, because no matter what's gonna happen, life is gonna hit you, and you have to just keep getting back up and hit right back and be able to bounce back from that and be able to keep striving forward and make yourself into a better person.
Happy and excited, Shay?
Camper and sandwich.
Okay, so guys, we do this 2-word check-in because if you're leaving class feeling like you're defeated and like you're like not getting it, right? Or you're having negative emotions towards jiu-jitsu, I want to know about it so I can head it off at the pass. So the jokey little stuff, I'm not a huge fan of it, and at the point when you're in this class, you should know why we do this. Okay? I'm not trying to kill your fun, but if somebody leaves here and they're feeling bullied, I need to know about it. You understand?
Yes, coach.
When you talk about it, it actually helps relieve that stress with the kinds of things. They would like shove me in lockers or like say rude things or make snarky comments, or the punch in the back or slap in the back of the head in the middle of classes, or throwing paper, or getting very physically abusive as well as verbally, like swearing, threatening, death threats, threats on my families, that kind of stuff. It scares you and it makes you repress and try to get away from them, but it makes them feel good because they just keep driving to it and they keep targeting you until something finally snaps.
And I still have a lot of anger that I bury towards the people that did it. Some of them I've forgiven, other ones I haven't. But that's why it's corrosive, is that it just eats at you.
One kid that was older than me, I was like, there was 2 steps of stairs, and then I was halfway down the long one that was leading down to the ground floor of the school, and he pushed me down it. I got slapped across the face and I had like a red mark here. They stole my bag once. I got punched by another kid that was older than me. I got pushed to the ground and then kicked on the side.
Like, I didn't want to go to school, my grades started falling, it made me angry, it made me sad. Like, I would lash out at others when they would try to help me, and I lost a lot of friends because of that, which hurt me even more.
After that day, when I broke down in class, I didn't cry for like 13 years. I refused to. Like, I would do anything to not. I would bite my lips, I would do anything to not show that physical weakness, which isn't in reality weakness, but in 14, it feels like it. Still feels like it.
In the moment of the bullying, probably to like be strapped up in like a insane jacket with my arms like that, and then just like being tossed around like a piece of garbage that like you don't care about, and that's how it feels.
It was very hard. I don't know if hard is the right word. Devastating is more the word I think I would use, because I could see his potential and I knew how smart he was, yet he didn't feel that way because people were picking on him.
And it eats at your self-confidence, and it eats at your self-love, and just eats away at everything, and it only leaves like a husk of the person that you could have been, or that you were, or your potential. I mean, people say that your potential is limitless, but it's only if you have a good foundation, and bullying, it eats away at that.
When I was younger, junior high, coming into high school, I was very small. I was a small kid who was very shy and would not talk to a lot of people, and that made me an easy target for bullies, which it started out verbally, and then as time progressed onward, it became more and more aggressive as time went on. And I've went to teachers, I've went to counselors, and they wouldn't step in or mediate to do those sorts of situations to actually improve and help or console or end the situations. And I've warned teachers and principals about it. And I was a ticking time bomb at that point. And it finally got to the point where I finally snapped and I hurt my bully, and it scared me.
I can put myself in a school shooter's mind. I can see how they could do that. I didn't, and I wouldn't. Not now, but I mean, I could see how without the proper, family, like if my family had told me I was a piece of shit and that I was worthless, and I went to school and I heard that I was a piece of shit and that I was worthless, and I could see how somebody could commit such a horrible act. Like, I could put myself there. Thankfully, I had a great family and I had a great support outside of school, so I never did anything like that. But isolation can really eat at you, and it can ultimately kill you. Yeah.
A heartbreaking look at the dangers of cyberbullying through the eyes of a grieving family. Their 12-year-old daughter took her own life after they say she was targeted by her classmates on social media.
Heartbreaking for parents to learn that their child is being bullied at school. But for one family in Ohio, the taunting turned tragic when their son committed suicide. Now the parents say it's the school that's responsible for his death.
It's been nearly 4 months since Cornelia Reynolds discovered the unthinkable. Her 8-year-old son dead in his bedroom. Gabriel had hanged himself from his bunk bed.
The Ontario teen was stabbed to death outside of his school on Monday while his mother looked on in horror.
Keep the conversation open. Talk. Find out what's going on. Don't brush it under the rug, because I know of other children that has happened and they're no longer with us.
It sounds a lot better than it is. It can be isolating, and it did lead to I needed to talk to a therapist about it, because I ended up just at my wit's end with a rope around my neck. Wasn't trying to hang myself, but was trying to figure out what it would feel like if I did. Glad I didn't, but that isolation just built. So it can be devastating, and it can have ramifications that last longer than the bullying.
For seeing Xander come home crying and frustrated with with the teachers at the school over this bullying thing is pretty hard for me to deal with. I don't quite understand when I reach out to them why they don't do what they're supposed to do, protect them, which I think every child has a right to go to school and be protected, not bullied. And that's why I got him here in this course, is he does stand up for himself, and he does have the confidence he didn't have before. So I guess every problem has a solution. It's just sometimes it takes time, and this is part of his solving for his future and dealing with school. We can run from the school if we want, but we're not runners. We never have been. So that's what we are. We're going to tackle it. And I mean, coming here is, like I said, is just eye-opening for me and for him, so I quite enjoy it.
Knowledge does not become wisdom until we apply it. Make sense? Yes. So we need to practice it. So we're going to stand everybody up, and here's what it's going to look like. We're going to partner them up. We're going to have coaches. Coach Chris is going to walk up on me. Stop! Right? My hands are up. Because if my hands aren't up, when we get into the next part where I defend myself and tackle, my hands are not going to be in the right place. These act as a fence. Soon as he comes over my fence, right, he's trespassing. He's in my territory. I'm taking it as a threat, and it's my responsibility to my parents, to my siblings, and to myself to defend myself. Because it's never okay for somebody to do bodily harm to me, ever. Period. Because a lot of people use the word bully and they have no idea what it actually means. So what I want to do is teach you how we deal with bullying in the gym, because a lot of schools talk about a zero tolerance policy where if Seth's getting picked on repeatedly by another kid, he's not allowed to stick up for himself. And I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe in that policy, period. If you're at risk of being harmed, you need to defend yourself.
Well, I mean, there's many different modalities that can help people through things like counseling and interventions, but yes, I agree 1000% that the empowerment and the strength that Colton has gained since being here has, just increased tenfold. I love how he feels so much stronger in knowing that he's not hurting somebody, he's just disarming them. I love how the smile he gets on his face when he talks about the gym, because SBG is one tribe, one vibe. I mean, this is where I'll get the tear in the eye.
Right? There's all sorts of silly little voices that go on in our head day to day that try to tell us that we're not good enough. And those voices are wrong. And the more you listen to those voices and the more you feed those voices, the more they get to run the show. Okay? So what I do when those voices come up, when I'm conscious of it, I say, shut up, I'm trying to listen to greatness. And do you know who that greatness is? Me, and you, and you, and you, and you, and you, and as tacky as it sounds, like all of us, right? We're all great, but the more we believe those silly little voices in our head that tell us we're not enough, the more they run the show. And it's all BS. Okay, so when that voice crops up in your head and tells you you can't, you're not good enough, you're not strong enough, you're not smart enough, you're not enough, tell it to shut up. And then put one foot in front of the other and chase your dreams.
Don't give in. Don't give in to those thoughts. Don't give in to those dark messages that linger in the back of your mind. I know that you can keep going and be able to push through those hardships because maybe somebody else is dealing with that stuff, and if you come across them, both of you could heal, and with that, you can be able to become something greater than your previous self and be able to heal each other's wounds and become such a great and loving person with your past. You're able to, it's hard to explain that don't give in to those desires. You're able to push through it no matter what. Just keep going and you can find something you love. Keep going. Just push through those hardships because no matter what's going to happen, life is going to hit you and you have to just keep getting back up and hit right back and be able to bounce back from that and be able to keep striving forward and make yourself into a better person.
My experiences with bullying have, still today, they have effects in my life like from the standpoint of the lone wolf kind of mentality that I display at times, like that I'll stretch by myself at the gym, and I'll be happy to talk to somebody if they come up and talk to me, but I won't go looking to talk to people, because that's an easy way to not be hurt, is if you don't engage. So I think that affects me from that standpoint, you know, and it's something that I like about the gym, is that people are very friendly, so that I don't have to be as friendly because they will come up and talk to me. So, I mean, in some ways that's good, in some ways that's bad. It's good from the standpoint of like, it helps me now, but getting over it's not helping me get over it, right? You don't make the world safer, you make the person braver.
I've seen kids who've come to jiu-jitsu and they've been bullied. They are so shy, and then it's like 6 months or 1 year later, they are a completely different person. They're so confident. They have such a confident voice. They've become such a good part of the community that when you look back, you can't believe that they were that kind of person before.
If I could give someone advice, and assuming they don't do jiu-jitsu, I would say that you should go and take a combat sport, jiu-jitsu or boxing or wrestling. Join the wrestling team. If I could make one different choice from my grade 9 year, it would have been because Coach Rich came in to he did like a bullying thing like way back in the day, and he still does it now, I believe. And he came into our school and he put it like he did he ran a couple of sessions. I'm not sure if it was one day or if it was a couple days, but he gave he put an offer out there like, come train with us, like come see what it's about, like you should come, put it out to everybody. I wish I had gone. So yeah, I would say if you can, take up a combat sport, not necessarily because you want to fight, but because you want to learn to defend yourself. And it's also just a good workout, and jiu-jitsu is good at calming the mind because you can't think about anything other than what's happening in the moment, especially when you're rolling. And I find that I have a mind that just constantly goes, and that's what really did it for me.
We did most improved student for adult and kid, and the unfortunate part is there was 2 kids that weren't present for their awards yesterday, right? So Xander, I have a plaque for you for Student of the Year kids, because we all agree as coaches that you have just blown us away with your effort and who you are. You're a fantastic kid, you're a good role model, you're a good training partner, and you're doing really, really well, and we're all super impressed by you. Okay, so this is yours. I would have liked to have given it to you at the party in front of the 100 people that were there, because you're definitely worthy of the recognition. That being said, I'm sure all of these guys agree. You're a fantastic training partner and a good dude. So, congratulations. So I haven't had to give this speech for a while, right? But there's new people in the circle. So I just wanted real quick explain why we do 2-word check-in. All right? So the purpose why we do our 2-word check-in, it's not so we can make the rest of our classmates laugh. There's plenty of time in life to do that. All right? The purpose of the 2-word check-in is so you can give me 2 feeling words based on how you feel in the moment. Because how we feel and recognizing how we feel and being able to communicate it is very important in any relationship. Right? So the sooner we practice, the more it becomes a skill that we can refine. Because learning to communicate how we feel is a skill. Right? And it's a skill that a lot of society is missing out on. Our feelings don't necessarily dictate our reality, but they play a part. Our feelings are kind of like clouds, and they just pass on through the sky. The more power we give them, the more they rule our mind.
Okay, 2 words that I feel right now: vulnerable and appreciated.
Inspired and confident.
Refreshed and happy. Happy and glad. Happy and excited. Tired and happy. Content and tired.
I'm proud and excited.
Content and supported.
Relaxed and encouraged.
Happy and relaxed.